Hello, ho ho ho, and welcome back to the channel. And this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. But today we will be concluding our countdown of our top 100 board games of all time. This is number 10 down to number 1. We hope that you have enjoyed this list up to now, but it does beg the question as to why you are spending Christmas Eve watching me talk a load of shit about board games. That probably makes you more sadder than me, but let's crack on with this list, because if we don't get it done, then Santa Claus ain't going to be giving you no board games this year, is he? Bollocks. So number 10 on this, you know, I ain't fucking doing this. Oh, I've got fucking Santa pubes stuck in my throat. Well, I'll put that on, but I ain't wearing a bloody beard. Anyway, it's only because I ain't got any hair. Bloody hell, I look like Jimmy Savile. So number 10. So number 10 on this list is a game by Antoine Bowser. It's a civilization building game. It's condensed down into half an hour. It's 7 Wonders. This game took us by surprise when we played it way back when in 2013 when it was first released, because rather than this being one of them big sprawling massive civilization type games, you know, a bit like Civilization the board game, yeah, but this condenses that sort of thing down into a really small game, but it plays up to 7 players, which is an amazing thing. Some people criticise this game for just concentrating on the players that you have got next year, but we don't care about that. There's so many expansions for this. We haven't bothered with the latest Armada one, and there has been a bit of a rip-off reprint that's bumped the price up for no good reason. But 7 Wonders, if you need a game that takes the concept of a civilization building beast and condenses it down into a very small playable card game, then this is one of the best games for you. So number 9 on this list is a game that is part of what is called the Matago trilogy. This is Kemet. This is a die-hard war game for people that like to get stuck in early, right? This game is all based around the sort of Egyptian myth type stuff, and the thing that makes this game different to other war games is that you are actively encouraged to get stuck in and have a tear up straight off the bat. There's no messing around. You're not going to be sitting around waiting for your engine to build or sitting around waiting to see what other people are going to be doing. You're going to get rewarded for putting the boot in as early as possible. This has just had another reprint. Didn't bother with that because we keep saying it. Why would we want to buy a second edition like Blood in the Sand or Blood in the Shit, or whatever you want to call it, when we've got this one? There's a Tower City expansion which adds more stuff, more tiles, an extra board, and then there's the Seth expansion that lets you play like a one against all type thing. So Kemet is a fantastic war game, infinitely replayable, wonderful theme, and you get to have a punch up in the first 10 minutes, you know what I mean? Number 8 on this list is a game that we've only just managed to get to the table due to the restrictions that have been placed on our social lives. Full disclaimer, this game was given to us as a freebie, but we did try and buy it. We did try and pay for this, but the publisher would not take our money, right? So that's not our fault, right? This game is Obsession, and this is a game where you will be taking control of a Victorian family that has fallen on sort of hard times, you know, relatively speaking, right? You'll be looking to host events that will entice rich gentry into your house, and they'll give you money. You'll be using your servants to provide services for these rich bastards. You'll be trying to regenerate your estate more efficiently than your opponents. This is a wonderful game. It's got elements of deck building. It's got rondelle mechanisms in there. It's got some wonderful card play, and to top it all off, it looks absolutely astonishing. We've just done a review of this one. If you want a detailed look at Obsession, go and look at our review. Honestly, this is one of our favourite Euro games at this moment in time, and if you can get hold of a copy, then we highly recommend that you do so right now. Well, not right now because it's Christmas Eve, isn't it? But after Christmas, like sometime, you know what I mean? Number 7, I might take this out off actually. What do you reckon? Number 7 on this list is a dexterity game for 2 players, or maybe 4 players if you're playing the 4-player version. It's Clask or Clask, or however you want to pronounce it. But essentially what this game is, a table that is raised off of another table, you'll be using these magnetic sticks to whack a ball around this pitch, trying to get it in the opponent's goal. But if you put your stick into your own goal, then your opponent's going to score a point. And also, if you get 2 of the 3 magnetic little button things on your stick, then you will also get a point. It's the first to 8 points, I think it is. This is a wonderful game. It's like sort of air hockey, but without the air or the hockey. But it's grown in popularity. There is a world championship of this. I'm crap at it, so I won't be entering that. But yeah, Clask or whatever you want to call it, it's one of our favourite dexterity games of all time. Number 6 on this list is another dexterity game. I'll make no apologies for that, but it's Pitch Car. This is a game that tries to replicate Scalextric without the electric. You'll be flicking a disc around MDF Formula 1 tracks that are comprised of like long straights or 90-degree curves, or if you've got the expansions, bridges or underpasses. The possibilities with this game are absolutely endless. We've got buckets and buckets of this every year. For Tabletop Day in April, we have a little World Championships where it always causes a blast. If you really wanted to do it, you could actually replicate the Formula 1 season. We haven't done that because we're not sad fuckers. But Pitch Car is a wonderful game. There is a mini version if you really can't stretch to the full-blown adult version. So Pitch Car is one of the greatest dexterity games ever made, and yeah, we'll keep buying it if they keep on pumping out the expansions. Number 5 on this list, we're getting there, is a game by Mac Gertz. It's Concordia. This is essentially a rondel game that uses cards to mimic the rondel system used in some of his earlier games like Antiki Hamburgum and Imperial Navigador, all that sort of stuff. But basically what you'll be doing, you'll be playing a card from your hand and you'll be doing what it says on the card, which is a very, very simple instruction. But then the game branches out, and what was a simple decision when you play the card actually becomes a more complex series of actions. There's loads and loads and loads of maps been released for this. They keep on supporting this one. I think it was first printed in 2013, 2014 or something. But yeah, we've got all the maps. You've got the Venus expansion, which adds a 6th player. And it's on this list primarily because it's one of those games that gives you a simple option. It's easy to learn, but you've got some complex choices once you've scraped off the veneer of simplicity, right? So Concordia, one of our favourite games of all time. No shit. Number 4 on this list is a war game for 2 to 8 players. I think that's it. No, maybe more than that if you've got a D-Day expansion. Memoir 44. Some people like to think of this game as being a little bit stuffy, maybe because it was first printed in 2004, so maybe it's aged a little bit and could do with a bit of a refresh. But essentially what you'll be doing, you'll be playing cards to move units in one of 3 sectors on the board, trying to complete objectives or get medals that will win you the game, right? One of the attractions of this is that there's loads of different army packs. They let you recreate different theatres of war, like the Eastern Front or the Pacific Theatre or the Mediterranean Theatre. You've also got the Overlord expansion, which lets you put 2 boards together and then play off in a 3 against 3 or a 4 against 4 format. You've got the breakthrough maps, which enlarge the board, which give a 2-player game that little bit more bite. And the fact that this game is still in print is testament to its longevity. This is one of our favourite 2-player games and one of our favourite war games of all time. Some people say this isn't a war game. You can shove that opinion where the sun don't shine, because Memoir 44 is probably the most accessible and probably the most fun war game that you could play tomorrow, today, at some point next year. Number 3 on this list is a game by Vladas Vartel, if I've pronounced that right. I think I have. It's Mage Knight. This is a game that we play, well, not we, I play it primarily on my own. I'm not going to play it with somebody if I play it on my own, am I? But basically what this game does, it uses a deck building mechanism where you're going to be getting spells, more abilities into your hand, whilst trying to avoid getting wounds into your hand, because wounds don't do anything, they just clog out your deck. You'll be playing these cards in different sequences that will allow you to move, interact with different places on the board that will allow you to power up, build up your levels of your Mage Knight, and then you'll go and sack a city or do whatever the scenario tells you to do. This is a game that when you play it, it feels like it's sort of changed from within the box, like somebody's gone into the box and added some stuff without you looking at it, yeah? Because we've had this since it was first released, and I've played it loads and loads of times, and it always seems fresh. There's a couple of expansions for it. There's the Lost Legion expansion, which adds a lot of stuff, and then there's the Tesla expansion, which doesn't add so much stuff, and it did suffer from a few printing problems. But if you combine all the stuff together, then you'll end up with the Mage Knight Ultimate box, and that is still available for an eye-watering amount of money. Maybe if you're quick, you could send Santa an email and he might be able to lob it down your chimney. Number 2 on this list is a party game that we are going to play tomorrow for quite a long time. It's Monikers. This is a game that comes under the other names like Time's Up, and it's essentially a public domain game, but this is probably the best iteration of that. Basically what you're going to be doing, you've got a load of cards in the box that have got different things on it, like names of famous people or situations or infamous people, different objects, and you'll divide the game up into 3 rounds. In the first round you can say whatever you want. You can make gestures, you can make noises, but you can't say what's on the card, right? Once you've guessed all the cards, you'll take all them cards back together and then you'll go again. But in this round you will only be able to say one word. You'll still be able to make gestures and all that stuff, but you'll only be able to say one word. Once everyone's guessed them, then you'll take the cards back again. You'll go for a 3rd round, but you won't be able to say diddly squat, right? This game is one of the funniest party games we've ever played. Every time we bring it out, it always causes a riot. Every time we've brought this out, the people that have played it always ask us where we got it from. They always go out and buy it. This is like a viral sensation with everyone we played it with. And if you haven't played Monikers, you can go and download a copy of this from the Monikers website. You can print it off yourself, just a basic version, but you can get a taste of how funny this game is. And if you haven't got it and you ain't going to be able to get it for Christmas Day, go and do that. Have a little bit of a laugh with the basic print and play version. And I'll tell you now, if you don't find this game absolutely hilarious, then you are already dead. So number 1 on our list of the top 100 board games of all time. Was that dramatic enough for you? It's Cyclades. This has been top of our list for the last 3 years, I think it is. Maybe it's only 2 years. But yeah, this game essentially has everything that I want in a board game. Well, it's got the theme that I like. I love the theme of Greek mythology, and it's implemented really well in this game. It's got some really tight expansions that you can chuck in to change the game up when you want to do that. It's got the crossover expansion that lets you take the monsters from Kemet and use them in the core set or whatever you want to do. It's a slow burning game because combat doesn't feature that much in it. Some people criticise the combat for being just a basic die roller, but the fact is that this game isn't actually a war game. It's a game of stealth, essentially. When we play this game, we always try to distract players from what you're really trying to do. You take your eye off the ball for 1 minute and bam, somebody's gone and got their second metropolis without you realising it. It's got one of the best, if not the best, auction system in any game, and I just love playing Cyclades. I have to say that playing just vanilla Cyclades is probably my favourite way of playing this, but when you do want some extra punch, you want an extra bit of combat and aggression, you can throw in the Titans expansion and that gives you a different map. You've got the Monuments expansion which adds even more options, and you've got the Hades expansion which messes around with the god tiles that you've got, adds a few artifacts and heroes and different ways to play the game. But truth be told, we don't really use the Hades expansion that much, but for sheer thematic simple fun, Cyclades is our number 1 game of all time. So there you go, we got there eventually. I had to wear a stupid hat just to make it that little bit more interesting or frightening, but we got there, and that's our top 100 board games of all time. Tell me, did you agree with our list? If not, why not? Let me know in the comments below if Santa brought your heart's desires in terms of board games tomorrow. And that's it from me for this year. All that remains to be said is Happy Christmas to you and anyone that you're sharing it with this year, regardless of what you can and can't do, if you know what I mean. So yeah, thank you for watching our top 100 board games of all time, and thanks for watching our videos this year. We'll be back in the new year with our annual New Year message to you. So yeah, that's it from me for this year. So we will see you next Tuesday. Oh yeah, just one more thing. I forgot. A gift from me directly to you.